Attending a high school reunion, I drove a domestically produced Volkswagen Passat. Upon arriving at the hotel parking lot, I noticed several classmates had already gathered. As I stepped out of the car, our class monitor, Huang Bo, who was driving a Rolls-Royce, approached me with a derisive grin. "Oh, isn't this our class top student? After more than a decade since graduation, you're still on the road in such a mundane vehicle. No wonder, after all this time, you haven't garnered any recognition from the higher-ups." During the meal, while everyone toasted the monitor, I found myself sidelined. Only the academic committee member, Gu Anze, sat beside me, offering comfort. "And the type of car you drive is inconsequential. What truly matters is maintaining a positive mindset. However, with your capabilities, I believe that with diligence, you will inevitably own a luxury vehicle one day." In response, I merely smiled softly and said, "You are right. However, this is not just any ordinary domestic car, it is an inspection vehicle." High school is truly the most memorable chapter of life. Thus, even though my current status renders me somewhat out of place in such gatherings, I still chose to attend the reunion. To my surprise, as I sat at the dining table, I was met with an atmosphere rife with competition and flattery among my classmates. Surrounded by insincere praise, I found myself longing to finish my meal and depart swiftly. The monitor, noticing my reluctance to raise a toast, furrowed his brow and asked, "And I've heard that those in the system are quite the drinkers. Why is it that you refuse to drink with me?" I understood his intentions clearly. He was quite overtly seeking me to toast him. Before I could utter a word, the class monitor's loyal follower, Lin, sneered mockingly. "Indeed, we are all from class 32 of the senior year. Do you not wish to reminisce with everyone? Or do you harbor a deep-seated disdain for us?" I lifted my gaze and cast a frosty glance in his direction. "I do not look down upon anyone. I have a meeting to attend shortly, and I genuinely cannot drink." Before I could finish my sentence, the class monitor sprang to his feet, exclaiming, "Gu Anze, what do you mean by that? Do you truly believe we are unworthy of sharing a drink with you, a civil servant?" Lin shot me a contemptuous look, deliberately raising his voice. "Oh, one might think you are some grand leader. In reality, you're merely the one who carries bags and pours tea for the higher-ups. Who do you think you are to look down on anyone?" At this point, many classmates erupted into laughter. "Exactly. You're just a minor clerk. Earning $3,500 a month is already commendable. The most you can do is dine with your superiors, and now you're pretending to be busy? Isn't that just a bid for attention?" A voice, exaggerated in tone, rang out. I glanced over to see a man of average build, his round eyes wide open in mockery. He seemed familiar, yet his name eluded me. Another classmate chimed in, "I believe someone has taken themselves far too seriously, thinking that being within the system makes them remarkable. I regularly dine with those who outrank him by several levels. Indeed, excelling in studies is of little consequence in today's society. Wealth reigns supreme. Only those who can afford extravagant cars like a Rolls-Royce are deemed respectable." I merely refrained from standing to toast the class leader, yet his remarks incited public outrage. And what of my classmates? Am I truly faring so poorly? Clad in a modest jacket and sporting a conventional flat top, I certainly do not project affluence. In my profession, donning a suit worth hundreds of thousands and driving a luxury car such as a Mercedes or BMW is simply impractical. Unable to endure the atmosphere any longer, I decided to leave. Dear classmates, my sincerest apologies, but I have a significant meeting to attend shortly. If it pleases you, feel free to indulge in the refreshments. Just have the hotel provide me with the invoice. Consider this gathering my treat. As I prepare to exit, a classmate adorned in lavish attire suddenly obstructed my path. Attempting to maintain a faud before me. Are we? Afraid your circumstances might be less than admirable and lacking face in my presence. She was clad in opulent designer brands, and the overpowering scent of her perfume made me sneeze uncontrollably. Her face seemed familiar, yet I found myself unable to recall her name. Noticing my silence, she smirked. "Gu Anze, do you remember me?" I scrutinized her for a moment before calmly shaking my head. "My apologies, I have encountered too many people over the years, and I genuinely seem to have forgotten you." "Who might you be?" I spoke the truth. After numerous social engagements over the years, I had indeed lost track of many faces. Upon hearing these words, a rather rotund classmate erupted into laughter, exclaiming, Gu Anze, are you here to entertain us today? This is our class beauty, Chioga." Have you forgotten the 3 years you spent as her devoted admirer? Gu. The memories flooded back indeed. I had pursued her throughout high school for 3 years. However, those were bygone days. Our relationship was never romantic, it was more of a mutual encouragement in our studies, tinged with a hint of ambiguity. Yet, in their eyes, I had become nothing more than a sycophant. I could hardly be bothered to engage in their petty banter. That moment, Gu deliberately raised her voice, and I know seeing me with the class monitor today must be unsettling for you. However, after all these years, it would be best if you moved on, as our paths have diverged significantly, and moreover, I am already engaged. As she spoke, she triumphantly displayed the ring on her finger. A bitter smile crept across my face. Her marital status bore no relevance to me. Did she truly believe I was still pining for her? To my surprise, she flashed me a smile and continued, "So, you might as well abandon any notion of pursuing me. My fiancé is Huang Bo, whose father is none other than Huang Wenju, the president of Ning City Group." Huang Wenju, the name resonated within me, familiar yet distant. Reminded of an important meeting scheduled for 8 o'clock that evening, I offered a brief farewell and resolved to take my leave. Upon seeing my intention to leave, Huang Bo erupted into a triumphant laugh. "Gu Anze, it seems you're having quite a tough time. Given our shared history as classmates, why not join my company as a security guard? A monthly salary of 10 to 18,000 is far more appealing than trailing behind your superior, serving tea and running errands." As soon as he finished speaking, a chorus of laughter filled the room. One classmate chimed in, "Exactly, Gu Anze. Brother Bo can easily secure you a job, which is certainly better than your current role as a minor clerk." I found myself caught between amusement and exasperation. I could not comprehend why, in a gathering of former classmates, some felt the need to belittle others to elevate themselves. Such displays of arrogance and flattery among classmates would deter me from attending another reunion. It is often said that class reunions are the breeding grounds for pretentiousness and humiliation, yet I had not taken it to heart. With a sigh, I considered departing. Noticing my silence, several individuals unabashedly burst into laughter. I grasped the jacket draped over the chair, rose to my feet, and said, "Apologies, but I have matters to attend to. I must take my leave." Before I could exit, a sudden crash echoed as Huang Bo, seemingly enraged, slammed a Moutai liquor bottle onto the table. The impact sent droplets of soup flying. He exhaled a cloud of alcohol-laden breath, his face flushed as he glared at me. "Gu Anze, am I allowing you to leave?" Instantly, the laughter in the private room intensified. I turned my gaze towards him, feeling a surge of anger. "What? Do I need to report my whereabouts to you?" Upon hearing this, Huang Bo furrowed his brows, his mouth agape in astonishment as he gazed at me incredulously. He must have thought that I was out of my mind for daring to speak to him in such a manner. Noticing my unwavering stance, Huang Bo brusquely shoved my shoulder, cursing as he declared, "Gu Anze, what do you mean by this? If we don't clarify things today, you shall not leave through that door." And sooner had he spoken than a group of 7 or 8 imposing men surged into the hotel, each adorned with a badge bearing the insignia of the Ning City Group. It turns out that this hotel is also owned by him. Seeing the atmosphere grow somewhat awkward, the class monitor, Yuan Yaki, immediately stepped forward to mediate, saying, "Oh, come on, we are all classmates. What are we doing? Let us not let a little alcohol ruin our camaraderie, shall we?" I understood her intention to alleviate my predicament. Yet my time was truly limited. "I apologize, Huang Bo, but I genuinely have matters to attend to. I can see that you've had a bit too much to drink. Perhaps you should moderate your consumption. If my presence has dampened the spirits, let this glass of tea serve as my apology. I kindly ask for your forgiveness." As I spoke, I lifted a full cup of tea, preparing to down it in atonement for my perceived transgression. Before I could take a sip, Huang Bo abruptly swatted the cup from my hand. "Gu Anze, do you think you can play the bureaucrat in front of me and then just walk away? Let me tell you, I won to grant you that opportunity this time. What business could a mere junior official like you possibly have?" Some classmates, fearing an altercation between us, quickly interjected with placating remarks. The class leader's follower, Hu Lin, also stepped forward, saying, "Anze, you were in the wrong this time. Just apologize to Boga, it's not a big deal. There's no need to create an unpleasant atmosphere." I found the situation almost laughable. It seemed that I was the one at fault now. "Huang Bo, Oblivious to my changing expression, continued with a smug demeanor, Gu Anze. Let me inform you why successful bureaucrats don't attend class reunions. It's because they fear being solicited for favors. If you think you can show off in front of me, let me assure you, that won't happen. As I was about to retort, a male classmate kindly interjected. Come on, Anze, just apologize to Bo. If you truly offend him, I'm afraid your secure position may be at stake. I scoffed at the notion that Huang Bo could jeopardize my stable job. Had I not imbibed a few drinks, I might have thought they were speaking in dreams. I turned and patted this classmate on the back, signaling him not to worry. Huang Bo, if you believe that my past affection for your fiancé has led me to harbor ill intentions, I can assure you now that I hold no interest in her whatsoever. As everyone just witnessed, I even forgot her name. Since you want to allow me to drink as an apology, may I take my leave now? Upon hearing this, Huang Bo let out a derisive laugh and spat directly in my face, coolly retorting, Gu Anze, are you implying that I've picked up a discarded item that you disdain? Or are you suggesting that you found a woman superior to Chioga? As soon as Huang Bo finished his statement, several of his close classmates rose in agreement. Exactly. Gu Anze, what do you mean by that? Is our class beauty not worthy of your affection? If you don't clarify your position today, you can forget about leaving at all. Indeed, why don't you showcase your girlfriend for us to see? Let us discern what makes her superior to our class beauty. Don't tell us you've settled for an unattractive partner and are merely speaking out of discomfort. I paid little heed to the sarcastic jests of my peers and replied calmly, that's not what I meant. The class monitor's fiancée is undoubtedly beautiful. Yet in my heart, my girlfriend is my goddess and I love her dearly. Upon hearing this, Chio Ji's eyes sparkled with interest. Huang Bo, evidently skeptical, inquired, what does your girlfriend do? I responded, she serves in the army as a pilot and is often quite busy. Chio Gu immediately chimed in, Anze, it seems you've found yourself a remarkable girlfriend. I've heard that those in her profession are quite exceptional. There are typically no more than 3 female pilots emerging from the country each year. Would you mind sharing her name? I shook my head. The military has regulations that prohibit the disclosure of names. I have matters to attend to. Please ask your fiancé to open the door for me. However, as soon as the words left my mouth, they fell into silence, only to erupt into laughter. Their amusement was akin to that of hearing a particularly humorous anecdote, tears nearly streaming from their eyes. One male classmate laughed so hard he could hardly contain himself, exclaiming, Gu Anze, you're about to monopolize my laughter for an entire year. Regulations in the military? This is simply hilarious. A freckled female classmate echoed, indeed. Perhaps he is just accustomed to showing off at work and hasn't he managed to shed that habit here? Before she could finish, another wave of laughter ensued. I raised my hand to check the time. It was almost time to leave, and I had to depart immediately. Before I could take a few steps, several male attendants from the hotel intercepted me. Huang Bo, reeking of alcohol, spat words dripping with sarcasm. I see you've grown quite fond of boasting today. Perhaps you should inquire about my father's standing in Ning City. I cast a cold glance in his direction and replied, whether I boast or not is of no concern to you. However, should you impede my time for the meeting, you ought to contemplate the consequences. Upon hearing my words, Huang Bo burst into a hearty laugh. Did everyone hear that? He claims that he has delayed his meeting and expects me to bear the consequences. You, Gu, why don't you inquire a bit? In Ning City, today, I simply won't allow you to attend the meeting. What can you do about it? You're merely a lowly clerk carrying the leader's briefcase. What difference does my absence make? Do you really think so highly of yourself? This is what you said. So don't regret it later. By the way, your father seems to be attending the meeting. You should grasp the severity of the situation. I gazed in disappointment at the classmate I once knew so well. Is this truly what a reunion entails? I never anticipated that my usual humility would become fodder for their derision. Seeing my silence, Huang Bo assumed I had conceded and promptly escalated his taunts. Gu Anze, if you wish to leave, you may, but first drink these 2 bottles of Maodai. If you do, we'll consider everything forgotten. Otherwise, you shan't depart from my presence. The atmosphere in the private room reached a fever pitch, with many onlookers eager for entertainment at my expense. I rose, my voice icy. Huang Bo, I shall warn you one last time. Do you realize whom you are obstructing today? I advise you to let me go immediately, otherwise. The one who will regret this will be you, not me. Do you comprehend? I laid my cards on the table, not to show off, but to cease this relentless humiliation. In response, Huang Bo scoffed and turned to his classmates, exclaiming, "Everyone, did you all hear that? He claims that I am the one filled with regret, yet I genuinely cannot fathom what audacity he possesses to utter such words. Has he perhaps equipped himself with a pump, drawing forth an endless supply of confidence?" Learning committee member Yuan Yaki, unable to bear the scene any longer, interjected on my behalf, "Bo, we are all classmates. Why must you make things difficult for him? Just let Enze go. Perhaps he truly has pressing matters to attend to." Huang Bo rolled his eyes, dismissively retorting, "Yuan Yaki, are you blind? Am I the one harassing him? And you, are you perhaps infatuated with this little clerk? Oh, I see. You must have had your flirtations with him in the past. Surely you have developed feelings for him." Yuan Yaki's face flushed with indignation as she countered, "Do not spout nonsense. We are all classmates." In response, several sycophants within the private room chimed in, "Indeed, Yuan Yaki, what does this have to do with you? Are you the one drinking these 2 bottles of wine for Gu Anze?" Exactly, Bo is simply granting Gu Anze some face. He should cherish this opportunity, as he wouldn't normally have access to such libations. Huang Bo reveled in the flattery, relishing the opportunity to belittle me further. "Gu Anze, do not remain silent. Were you not quite boastful a moment ago? Why have you now fallen silent?" I wished to disengage from the confrontation and prepared to leave, but Huang Bo's gaze turned icy as he commanded 2 waiters to restrain me. "What is this? You wish to depart before having a drink? You truly do not regard me as a person." I forcefully pushed the waiters away and replied with a smile, "Your humanity is of no concern to me. Do you require me to teach you how to conduct yourself?" Upon hearing this, Huang Bo coldly declared, "Hand it over to me, or I shall resort to smashing your car." I gritted my teeth and resolutely replied, "I shall not drink it. Nor do I believe you possess the audacity to damage my vehicle." Huang Bo was taken aback when I confronted him face to face. His expression instantly contorted into a grimace. With a sweeping motion of his hand, he declared, "Come on, today I shall demonstrate how to smash his car to smithereens." Many classmates echoed his sentiment, eagerly following suit. "Yes, let us smash it." Huang Bo seized a chair, leading the charge to the parking lot, where he pointed at my Volkswagen and shouted, "Smash it." At his command, the hotel staff and several of Huang Bo's companions rushed forward. I raised my voice to stop them, saying, "Do not smash it. This car is not yours to destroy." Huang Bo turned around, scoffing derisively. "It's just a worthless Volkswagen, isn't it? I'll compensate you with 10 more if it gets destroyed. This is just to remind you not to be too arrogant. There are always greater mountains and more formidable people beyond your own." I was astonished that they still perceived my demeanor as arrogance, attributing all blame to me. I issued one final ultimatum: this car cannot be damaged, otherwise you will not be able to bear the consequences. Laughter erupted among the crowd, their gazes laced with pity and disbelief. Their limited understanding and narrow experiences rendered my words unconvincing to them. They were aware of my position as a civil servant, and while it was not a secret, my identity had never been publicly acknowledged. As I fell silent, they mistakenly assumed I had conceded. Huang Bo led the way, chair in hand, striding forward with determination. With a resounding crash, the car's glass shattered in response. Upon witnessing the scene, others rushed forward, brandishing their clubs and striking wildly. Just as Huang Bo was furiously assaulting my vehicle, my phone began to ring incessantly from my pocket. Ultimately, left with no alternative, I sent a message: "I am at the Haicheng Grand Hotel, encountering some trouble. My bus has been vandalized. Please gather everyone here for a meeting." No sooner had I hung up than Huang Bo, having finished damaging the car, approached me with a mocking expression. "Gu Anze, you told me not to smash it. Yet look at this heap. After just a few blows, it's rendered to ruins. If I were you, I wouldn't opt for such a cheap vehicle in the future. Even at this juncture, he remained oblivious to the gravity of the situation. Whether it is cheap or not is inconsequential, however. This car is not something you are entitled to destroy. I placed my phone down, my tone icy. By the way, I feel it necessary to inform you that while this car may lack monetary value, it is an inspection vehicle. This car, should your father see it, would command his respect. Upon hearing my words, Huang Bo erupted into laughter, unable to contain himself. Don't kid me. It's merely an ordinary Volkswagen, right? Even if my father saw it, he wouldn't think twice. Who do you think you are, boasting without regard for reality? Just then, my phone rang again. Its tone jarringly out of place. It was a video call from my girlfriend. Without a second thought, I pressed the answer button. A girl in military attire, her hair tied back in a ponytail, appeared on the screen. Upon seeing my girlfriend, the closest friends Chioga and Yuanyaki both gasped in astonishment. Anze, where are you? Lingfeng, I'm attending a high school reunion today. Have you forgotten? Jiang Lingfeng displayed a charming expression, tapping her forehead. What a poor memory I have. I hope you're enjoying yourself. To alleviate her concerns, I deceitfully replied, my old classmates are treating me quite well. By the way, was your flight smooth this time? Jiang Lingfeng flashed a playful smile. Of course it was smooth. And by the way, my supervisor has given me next week off. So, don't forget to pick me up. Certainly, I will be there. Love you, a kiss. The call ended. Huang Bo, who had been animated moments ago, now regarded me with a look of suspicion. A female classmate sincerely exclaimed, "Oh my, Anze, your girlfriend is exceptionally beautiful, resembling a movie star. She looks like she's barely 21 or 22. You truly are an old ox plowing a young field." I chuckled. If she hears you praise her like that, her tail would surely be soaring to the heavens. Huang Bo's expression shifted, a flicker of jealousy crossing his face. Just then, a gasp erupted from the crowd. Oh my. Do you know who the girl in the video call with Gu Anze was? Her name is Jiang Lingfeng, the youngest military pilot. Is that true? How impressive. Another classmate chimed in. Everyone gazed at me in disbelief. I remained silent, continuing to regard them with a cool demeanor. At that moment, a voice from the crowd exclaimed, "Everyone, look. A luxurious Rolls-Royce is arriving." Upon hearing this, Huang Bo broke into a smile, appearing to be quite familiar with the owner of the vehicle. He rushed over, seemingly eager to impress his classmates. As the car came to a halt, he immediately approached with a beaming face, saying, "Dad, what brings you here?" A tall, middle-aged man with a prominent nose emerged from the car. He was Huang Wenju, the president of Ding Tian Group. "The inspection team leaders have arrived at our hotel. You need to arrange a conference room immediately. They require a meeting here." Huang Bo was taken aback and inquired, "The inspection team leaders want to hold a meeting here? I haven't seen any leaders contacting me." Hearing the mention of high-ranking officials, several classmates stepped aside. Sensing this, Huang Bo's expression turned smug as he declared, "Did you see that? A significant leader is meeting here, so you, Gu, better step aside and not delay our encounter." I chuckled, "If you send me away, who will attend to the meeting?" Upon hearing this, Huang Bo, seemingly irritated, waved dismissively, saying, "Gu, stop pretending. This isn't the time for your antics. Just leave." I remained silent, standing quietly to the side. At that moment, 7 or 8 more vehicles arrived, and a young female secretary hurried over. "Group leader Gu, I apologize. Today's meeting has not been properly arranged. That was my oversight." I cast a cold glance at my high school classmates and remarked, "It's nothing. I'll make the necessary arrangements. The meeting will proceed as scheduled." Some classmates whispered, "Did we hear correctly? That beautiful girl just addressed him as Team Leader Gu. Could he possibly be a high-ranking official?" Before the words had fully settled, Huang Wenju awkwardly approached, extending his hands. "So you are Team Leader Gu. I truly apologize for my earlier ignorance." He then turned to Huang Bo, exclaiming, "What is wrong with you? Team Leader Gu has been here for quite some time. Are you blind?" I remained impassive, gesturing lightly. Huang Wenju, it seems the rumors circulating are indeed true. Your Ding Tian group is quite audacious, even daring to vandalize an inspection vehicle. Pray tell, what shall we do about this? An inspection vehicle? Vandalized? A cascade of thoughts left Huang Wenju momentarily stupefied. Once he regained his composure, he inquired, what happened? At that moment, several police officers cleared the way as a number of high-ranking officials arrived at the scene. Upon seeing me, they greeted me, Team Leader Gu. What brings you here ahead of schedule? I quickly replied, I apologize. My vehicle was vandalized and I was unable to reach the conference, so I notified you instead. The vehicle was vandalized? That person must have a death wish. Tell me, who did it? I shall see to it that they face severe consequences. I burst into laughter. The individuals responsible for damaging my vehicle are from your hotel. Upon hearing this, Huang Wenju immediately reprimanded, who did it? Who among you is so blind as to dare vandalize the vehicle of an inspection team leader? Step forward and confess your wrongdoing. Is it possible? Even Brother Bo's father appears as a mere elementary student in front of Gu Anze. How high must his status be? We haven't offended him, have we? Let's seize this opportunity to cultivate a closer relationship. We mustn't invite future unpleasantness upon ourselves. Indeed, Huang Bo must not have kicked a rock this time. The murmurs of several classmates reached Huang Bo's ears, and his expression grew increasingly grim. I calmly addressed a leader from the police department. The public safety environment in your city is truly commendable. Some citizens audaciously disregard the law and openly vandalize public property. What? Several leaders from the police department turned their attention to the Volkswagen Passat, clearly having recently endured a catastrophe. One of the police leaders approached, maintaining a composed demeanor as he assured, Team Leader Gu, rest assured, I will thoroughly investigate this matter and provide you with a satisfactory response. I waved my hand dismissively. I have stated that the person who damaged my car is right here. Let us see how you handle this. Upon hearing this, Huang Bo, feeling somewhat guilty, inquired. Police department leader, you must not have mistaken the person, right? Gu Anze, you say he is. Team Leader Gu? This individual is merely a junior staff member, right? Huh. It's impossible for him to be the team leader of the inspection group. Do not be deceived by him. At this point, Huang Bo still could not believe that I was the team leader of the inspection group dispatched from Jiangcheng, desperately attempting to cling to his last hope. In truth, I had remained in Jiangcheng since graduating with my doctorate, and due to my outstanding work performance and the recognition of my superiors, I was assigned to the inspection work in your city. Huang Wenju finally came to his senses and slapped Huang Bo across the face. How dare you smash the car of the inspector group leader? Are you tired of living? How could I possibly have given birth to such a useless son? Before Huang Bo could react, Huang Wenju immediately knelt before me. Group leader Gu, I implore you, for my sake, to spare my son this once. I promise to teach him a lesson when we return. I beg you. As he spoke, he continued to wear a forced smile. Group leader Gu, it's entirely my son's fault for not recognizing greatness. How about I compensate you with a new car? I scoffed. Compensate with a new car? You must be joking. Your calculations are likely to hit me in the face. Huang Wenju kept pleading, Group leader Gu, if that won't do, I can offer you 10 vehicles. Would that be acceptable? Before he could finish, Huang Bo, seeing that I was unconvinced, abruptly changed his expression. Gu Anze, don't push your luck. It's just a Volkswagen bus. Isn't it? If it's broken, we'll just pay for it. Dad, you needn't kneel to him. Our Dingtian group is a major enterprise, even in the city. And some leaders give us a bit of respect. What does this so-called group leader think he is? I merely scoffed and regarded him coldly, remaining silent. Huang Bo believed he had swayed me and continued, Gu Anze, after all, we were high school classmates. Let us consider this a concession on my part. Just tell me the amount, and we will compensate you. I could not help but inquire, just now, when you damaged my vehicle. Why did you not express that we are classmates? Now that you realize the significance of connections, let me tell you. It is too late. Huang Bo was momentarily taken aback by my words, rendered speechless for quite some time. Huang Wenju's mouth fell agape. and he swiftly turned to deliver another slap across Huang Bo's face. Huang Bo, shielding his face, asked, "Father, am I mistaken? Do you not possess some connections in the city? You should hasten to call the municipal leaders. After all, he is merely a minor group leader, is he not? Does he hold a rank superior to that of the city officials?" Wang Wenju, incensed, forcefully pushed Huang Bo away, took a few deep breaths, and finally said, "Group leader Gu, how do you propose we resolve this matter?" "I assure you, I will provide you with a satisfactory answer." I pressed my lips together and remarked, to be candid, "I had not anticipated that in your city. The influence of your Dingtian group was so formidable. Have you become so accustomed to bullying others that you have forgotten your own identity?" Huang Wenju trembled as he retrieved his phone and dialed a number, Director Yang. "It is as follows. Huang Bo accidentally damaged Chief Gu's vehicle today. Could you possibly help me out?" Evidently, even at this juncture, he still hoped to leverage connections. Before he could finish, Director Yang coldly interjected, "Huang Wenju, do not bother me. Do I even know you?" With that, he brusquely ended the call. Huang Wenju made several more attempts, yet none were willing to offer assistance. It was at this moment that Huang Bo came to the grim realization that he had encountered insurmountable trouble. "Dad, aren't we the wealthiest in Ninghai? Can't we just spend a bit of money to smooth this over?" Upon hearing his son's words, Huang Wenju was incensed, stamping his foot in anger as he scolded. "Are you blind? Why provoke Chief Gu of all people and drag me into this? I can no longer assist you this time." Overcome with despair, Huang Bo knelt before me, pleading, "Anze, I implore you to spare me this time. I do not wish to face imprisonment." The words of Huang Bo left many classmates taken aback, fearful that this incident might implicate them as well. I approached Huang Wenju, a faint smirk gracing my lips, and remarked, "It appears you still have not grasped the gravity of the situation. You think compensating me for a car suffices? My intention in having you handle this is to make you understand how to rectify the situation with your son having damaged my vehicle." Instantly, Huang Wenju wilted, grasping my sleeve in desperation as he pleaded, "Chief Gu, I beseech you not to send my son to prison. It would ruin his life forever." I nodded slightly and said, "Huang Bo has damaged state finances, colluded with criminal gangs, and attempted to assault members of the inspection team. He is suspected of engaging in organized crime. Any one of these charges could lead him to spend the rest of his days in prison, or even worse. Face a bullet. Do you understand?" Before I finished speaking, Huang Bo turned pale with fear and immediately knelt before me, weeping profusely. "Anze, I was wrong. I beg you. For the sake of our old friendship, please show mercy and let me go. I promise I won't dare to do it again." I chuckled softly. "Huang Bo, have you forgotten? It was you who compelled me to stay. Otherwise, would things have escalated to this point? You forced me to drink, mocked me, and insulted me. But none of that compares to the fact that you dared to damage my car. That vehicle is beyond your means to destroy. Do you realize that? Do you understand why they grovel before you? It is solely because of your wealth. If you possessed nothing, do you think they would continue to revolve around you?" At my words, Huang Bo slumped to the ground, his head bowed in deep regret. Just then, a few officers from the police station arrived and placed a shiny pair of handcuffs on him. Huang Wenju watched in silence as his son was taken away, fully aware of the gravity of the situation his son had gotten himself into. As Huang Bo was led away, a group of old classmates suddenly changed their demeanor. "Anze, I never expected you to be the head of the Jiangcheng inspection team. As the saying goes, do not underestimate a young man in poverty. Truly inspiring. I have long harbored a disdain for him. Is he not merely relying on his father, the president of the Dingtian Group? As if he possesses any merit of his own. We merely exchanged a few polite words, yet he dares to inflate his own worth. Such individuals are destined for misfortune." It appeared that my former desk mate, who had once bullied me, was also there, fawning over him. Indeed, I was once desk mates with team leader Gu. Upon my return, I shall boast of it for a lifetime. I turned to Yuan Yaki, who stood beside me. "Hello, Yaki. It has been quite some time. You have grown even more beautiful. I scarcely recognized you at first. You were the sole person who spoke up for me back then, and I am grateful." If you encounter any difficulties in the future, do not hesitate to reach out. Let us add each other on WeChat. After this exchange, we mutually added each other on the app. Yuanyaki cast a glance my way, hesitating before she spoke. Gu Anze, truth be told, I have yearned to find you all these years, but I could never manage to do so. Upon finishing her sentence, her expression turned somewhat melancholic. I smiled and replied, What did you wish to find me for? Yuanyaki leaned closer, whispering, It is of no consequence now, it no longer matters. You have already found someone far better than I. I wish you happiness. With that, she seemed to have accomplished something significant, climbed into her BMW, and drove away. At that moment, the secretary leaned in and softly remarked, Team Leader Gu, the conference room is prepared. Shall we proceed to the meeting? I nodded. And the discussions around us came to an abrupt halt. Chiyoga stood at the door, her lips pursed, casting a glance at me, embodying a sense of hesitation. It seemed she had overheard those words. Wordlessly, she took Huang Bo's coat and turned to leave. Several classmates greeted her, but she paid them no mind. Perhaps she had discerned the vile nature of these peers. Those who mock your poverty while fearing your prosperity are often those closest to you. After the meeting concluded, I discovered my phone inundated with friend requests. In the high school group chat, my reputation had been inflated to celestial heights. Even those steadfast friends of Huang Bo altered their demeanor towards me, showering me with compliments. Faced with such trivial messages, I ultimately chose to depart from the group. A few days later, I encountered Chiyoga once more. Upon seeing me, she visibly paused. I greeted her, intending to head to Dingtian Group. To my surprise, she called out to me, Gu Anze, do you still harbor resentment towards me? I never intended to regard you as a mere sycophant. I simply sought a better option. I nodded, replying, there's no need to dwell on it. It no longer matters. Your pursuit of something better is entirely justifiable. And I could never bring myself to hate you. Chiyoga pressed her lips together, inquiring, when did you meet her? Is she good to you? Is she also a wealthy beauty? I was reluctant to respond, stating, she's quite lovely, but I have matters to attend to, so I must take my leave. Farewell. Chiyoji's expression dimmed slightly as she watched me get into the car and speed away. A month later, the criminal activities associated with the Dingtian Group were confirmed. The group's president, Huang Wenju, was apprehended. This malignant presence that had plagued the city for a decade was finally eradicated. In another significant development, Huang Bo was sentenced to 20 years of imprisonment. Following the dissolution of the Dingtian Group, it was rumored that Chiyoga had terminated her pregnancy and departed. However, none of these events concerned me. One night, late into the hours, Chiyoga unexpectedly added me on WeChat. And I have terminated Huang Bo's child. And I now feel so lonely and desolate. Can you talk with me? I did not respond. She sent 3 requests. I ignored them. A year later, Jiang Lingfeng and I finally celebrated our wedding. Despite our infrequent gatherings, our love remained profound. I believe that those who love each other will undoubtedly find happiness for a lifetime.